All right, listeners. Ashley and I have been going back and forth all day about whether or not this mountain lion joke is funny. So we decided to let you all be the judge. Go ahead, Ashley.
What did the hiker say when he saw a mountain lion? I'm so scared, I might poo my pants.
See, that time when you told it for some reason, I found it funny. And maybe it's like the delivery. I don't know. Bravo.
Thanks. In case you forgot, here's how this works. Parker and I rate this animal on a scale of 1 to 10 in a variety of categories. We then average our scores to get their wild rating.
First up, mobility. It's how they move. For mountain lions, we're going to start off strong. I'm going to give them an 8.
Wow, that is really, really high. So why?
So mountain lions are incredibly fast. They're incredibly fast over varied terrain. You know, they hunt in these high mountainy places, especially for like deer and things, and they can run up to 50 miles an hour.
That's impressive because cars go that speed on a highway.
Yeah, and it's not like pronghorn fast, but pronghorn are never entering the mountains. They're purely just on those racetracks in the plains. And so hitting 50 in that very terrain, very impressive. What did you give them?
I gave them a 7. And that's for kind of a similar feature, which is their movement, but in trees and on rocks. So they can actually climb trees really, really well. They have retractable claws, just like a house cat, and they're just so strong. So they're able to basically run up trees and jump between tree branches to either escape threats or things they're scared of or to hunt. And a lot of times you can actually just see them resting in a tree.
Okay, back up. Retractable claws?
Yeah, like so, do you have a house cat?
I do.
So if they still have their claws, they can kind of push them out when they want to use them, like if they're climbing or scratching your furniture. But then they don't have them out all the time because that would wear them down on surfaces like gravel or whatever.
So
in
it
order
keeps them sharp.
Yeah, keep them crazy sharp. They only stick them out when they really need them to climb. And otherwise, they're just in, which is kind of cool.
That's super cool.
Yeah. Now let's climb on over to size. Size, it's how big and small, how short or tall. So for size, I gave the mountain lion a rating of a 7.
We're staying strong.
Yeah, I mean, they're strong animals. And also, they're pretty big. They can be 7 to 8 feet long, including their tail.
Wait. Sorry. Sometimes you say stuff and I have to like wrap my head around it. It takes me a second. 7 to 8 feet?
Yeah, that is pretty long, right? Like that's as long as like a 2x4 you'd buy from the store, right?
Yeah.
And that does include their tail, which is pretty long. But then they also weigh a lot. Like males can be 180 pounds. Females are a little smaller, but that's like an adult human, you know? So
that's huge.
Pretty big animals. What about you?
I give them a 9.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I do this every time for the size category where I don't talk about their actual size.
So what are we rating then?
We're rating the size of their jumping ability.
Okay.
And so I think for like people, we think of like Michael Jordan jumping from the free throw line. Like that is our peak jumping ability. That's the best we can do. Mountain lions can jump 40 to 45 feet horizontally.
So that's like across. Like they can jump 40 feet forward.
40 feet forward, yeah. So in one jump, not like they can run and then make a little jump, like 40 feet in one bound, like a Superman jump.
So they could jump like across an entire road.
Yeah, easily.
That's crazy.
And then they can also jump 15 to 18 feet vertically.
So they could jump over a road, over the cars.
They could jump over a basketball hoop.
That's so crazy.
They could almost dunk on a second basketball hoop stacked on top of another basketball hoop.
I can't believe you only gave them a 9.
I mean, we're stingy with 10s here, right? I don't think we've ever had a 10 in the history of the podcast. I was close. It's so impressive how much they can jump.
So it sounds like mountain lions are just overall coming out strong in the size category.
Athletes.
Absolutely.
So let's jump on over to accessories now. Accessories are those special features that an animal has. For mountain lions, we're going to move away from their extreme athleticism and more into kind of their raw power. They have a bite force, which is how strong they can bite. And we measure that in pounds per square inch. And so it's like if you were to put all of this pressure on one single inch, what would that feel like? And for people, it's about 140. And so like that lets us like chew up meat and like thicker vegetables and things like that.
Wait, so a person, if I were to bite down with my mouth and they measured that on 1 square inch, I have 140 pounds of force with my mouth?
Yes. which is pretty good.
That's impressive. So what's a mountain lion?
Yeah, I was going to say 140 sounds very impressive until you look at mountain lions. Theirs is 400.
Whoa.
Yes, and they use that force mostly as a killing tactic to break their prey's necks.
Yikes.
Yeah, so they can use all of that pressure and they generally concentrate it directly on the back of the neck, and it literally just breaks bones and kills animals extremely efficiently, which prevents like a fight. They don't get in a lot of fights. It's over really quickly.
All right, so they're extremely effective at killing their prey.
Yes, and this is in accessories. It could also be an intimidation factor. There's a lot of intimidating things about mountain lions that are also super cool.
Nice. Well, I gave them a 5, a little bit lower on the accessories. Mm-hmm. When you think of a lion, what sound do they make?
They roar.
Usually, yes. But that's the funny thing. Mountain lions actually can't roar.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so their vocal cords are harder than other big cats. Like lions and tigers and jaguars, they can roar.
Yeah.
But mountain lions, the folds in their throat, their vocal cords, are harder, so it prevents them from actually making a roaring noise.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, so they don't have that typical lion thing. But I still give them a 5 because even though they are usually really quiet in general, when they do make noise, they can make all sorts of like really strange and weird noises. They can make like whistles, chirps. They can growl. The babies even purr, which is kind of cute. And when the females are looking for mates, they can make this sound that's like a high-pitched scream. It's really spooky. So that bumped up their rating a little bit.
So it's almost more like they're like a really big small cat than a big cat.
Yeah.
In terms of their voice, at least.
Yeah, like they make a lot more of the same sounds that like a house cat would make, but like bigger because they're bigger. But they can't roar. Now let's scream on over to style. Style, it's how attractive they are. And I gave a mountain lion a 7.
7's pretty high for an animal that's just one color.
I know. I took a page out of your book and I'm actually rating them on something that's not exactly how they look. I stretched it.
Okay.
I think they have some serious style in how they kill their prey and then what they do after. So they ambush their prey. Like you talked about, they're really efficient in killing their prey with their bite force and their jaws. Prey don't even see it coming. But just like when you're hunting and field dressing an animal, you don't want to get a bunch of hair in the meat and make it all messy. They have like surgical precision. They shear off the hair before neatly opening up the body cavity and eating the nutrient-rich organs. So it's pretty neat, pun intended.
Ah, I see what you did there.
Yeah. And then afterwards, they take it a step further by dragging the carcass when they're done eating, the first bit. They drag it over to a secluded spot and cover up the leftovers to come back to in the future. They call it a cache. And I just think that's really interesting.
So it's like neatly packaging up your leftovers in like a little Tupperware thing and putting it in the fridge.
Exactly. A cache is like a mountain lion's fridge Tupperware leftovers.
That's clever.
I know. So that's why I gave them a 7. What did you give them?
Yeah, so I gave them a 6, and the 6 is for their tail.
What about it?
Well, pretty much everything about it. One, it's super long. It's about 2 to 3 feet on adult male mountain lions. And so thinking back to what you talked about with how long they are overall, that like 7 to 8 range, that's like a third of their body length.
That's incredibly long compared to the rest of their body. So why? Why is it like that?
So the biggest reason is balance. You also talked about how they like to go up in trees and jump from limb to limb. That takes a lot of balance. And for, an 180-pound cat, they're pretty front heavy. And that tail is really important in helping them balance so they don't, overshoot jumps.
Okay, that makes sense. I used to do gymnastics, and you can put your arms out when you're walking on a balance beam to balance your body a little bit more, give you a little bit more stability. And so a tree limb is a little bit like a balance beam. So their tail, I guess, is like putting their arms out.
Exactly. That's like a perfect analogy. Let's balance our way over to intimidation factor. Intimidation factor is how scary is this animal to other animals or to us. Mountain lions, just based on what you said last time, get a 9.
We have been giving them a lot of high scores here.
I like mountain lions a lot.
Me too.
So a couple more things to add into their like surgical precision on how they kill things. One, they're obligate carnivores.
What's obligate mean?
Obligate means they have to be carnivores. And so if you think about, and carnivores means they eat meat, right?
Yeah.
If you think about other predators in Wyoming, our bears, our coyotes, our wolves, they eat meat, but they don't just eat meat. They can eat other things, especially to supplement their diet in lean times. Mountain lions, it's just meat.
Okay,
That's
so
it.
that's the only thing they can eat.
Yeah. And they're ambush predators, which I think adds a certain creepy haunted house feel to how they hunt. Think of a wolf pack. It's in your face. It's a chase. You see it coming from a long way off, and it takes a while. A mountain lion is you're a deer walking through the forest, and all of a sudden, snap. That's it.
That is pretty intimidating. I feel like it's kind of, again, like a bigger version of a house cat, because I think about my house cat. When she's stalking like a fly or something that's flying around, she'll be so still in the way that she approaches it and then pounces. And I'm sure that fly didn't see it coming.
Yeah, I don't know if mountain lions have quite the same butt wiggle as like your standard house cat. I feel like that ruins the intimidation factor. So in my head, they're not going to do that. But it's really similar. What did you give them?
I'm giving them a 5. And that's because I feel like I already used up a lot of their intimidating factors in all the other categories. So I'm going to talk about how it is pretty intimidating how big their range is.
I thought a 5 was kind of low, but now I'm interested.
Yeah, so one mountain lion can have a range of up to 40 square miles, which is a little bigger than Cheyenne, which is the biggest city in Wyoming.
That feels fairly intimidating.
Yeah, so they can cover that much ground just very regularly. And the interesting thing about it is they're also territorial. They don't let other mountain lions come into their big city space,
Oh, okay. This is like a my town isn't big enough for the both of us sort of thing.
Exactly. So they, especially like adult males, will fight other males that enter into their territory. They mark their territory to keep other people out. So I think that's a little intimidating.
Yeah, for sure.
Now let's ride on over to Razzle Dazzle. Razzle Dazzle, its unique features that no other animal might have. I gave mountain lions a 6 for Razzle Dazzle, and that's because they're so iconic that they have a lot of different names that people call them. We refer to them as mountain lions this entire time, but people can call them everything from cougar to puma to panther to catamount.
Catamount?
Yeah, I actually went to college in Vermont, and the catamount was our school mascot. And at first I didn't know what a catamount was, and come to find out it's the exact same thing as a mountain lion, but that's just what they called them in that part of the northeast part of the United States. Okay. Do you know of any other fun names?
Yeah, when I was growing up and near my grandparents' house in Pennsylvania, they called them Nittany Lions for Penn State.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I think that's the only place they call them that because of Penn State, and there's no mountain lions there, so it's not like it comes up frequently, but...
Gotcha. Well, I just think it's super interesting that an animal would have that many common names. That's pretty unique. What did you give them?
All right, team. Brace yourselves. I'm giving them a 10.
We have never done that before.
I know, and it's a big deal, and they deserve it.
Okay, tell me why.
They have, and we kind of like hinted at this in a previous episode, mountain lions have the largest native range of any animal in the Western Hemisphere, so like North, South America.
How far is it?
It's the whole thing.
What?
It's Canada all the way to the bottom of Chile.
So they're everywhere.
They're everywhere. And what's so cool about, like, it's cool just by itself, thinking maybe if they're only in the mountains in those places, but there's not mountains in all those places. Thinking about like the jungles of Central America, mountain lions are so uniquely adaptable that they can survive in all of these different places and have managed to spread themselves out, hunting multiple different kinds of prey and specializing on different animals across the entire, not just our continent, but also another continent.
That is incredibly impressive.
And the range of temperature, like, there's just so many impressive things about this. It's worthy of our first 10 by far, I think.
I think I can support that. I was just thinking now about like the tundra and cold and snow of Canada, and then just how hot it would be in the desert of Mexico or the jungles of South America. That is pretty wild.
On the different prey bases alone. In Wyoming, we think about them eating like deer and elk, but they don't have the same options in Chile.
What do they eat there?
They have these things called guanacos. Super cool.
That is really, really impressive. I'm glad that you just broke out the first 10 on this one. I think that is so deserving.
Now it's time for their wild rating. And I'm really excited to see what this final score is because I think mountain lions have done really well throughout this episode. Can I get a drum roll, please?
Their wild rating is A 7.2.
There we go. All right.
Is
About
that
time we had a high one.
That's the highest we've ever gotten, right?
That is the highest we've ever gotten, I believe, and they deserve it.
Absolutely. Now that we've learned about mountain lions, you may be interested in experiencing them in nature. There are a few options, but before you head out and do these activities, you should always keep your safety in mind. If you do get to see a mountain lion, that is so cool. But be sure to keep your distance and never approach them. If a mountain lion seems like it's getting a little too close, you should back away slowly and look bigger. Maybe put your jacket over your head or a backpack. Definitely don't turn around and run. You can also always carry bear spray. It works on mountain lions too.
One of the most unique ways to experience mountain lions in Wyoming is actually by hunting them. Wyoming has really healthy mountain lion populations all across the state. Mountain lion hunting can be a little more complex than other kinds of hunting, but just like with all the hunting you do in the state, make sure you check your regulations before you go out. This was a really cool episode. I think mountain lions have a lot of really unique features that make them super fun to talk about. And I'm already looking forward to the next episode. Are you?